ones.
Limited edition. With a...
Technology's working first time out. That's brilliant.
Don't hurt
Is it now?
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Do you want a papa, or should we let the papa expert do it?
What do you think?
I think
Can
we
we do all
should.
three together today? Can we all papa?
Do you know how out of tune he gets?
I'm very aware. I'll start it off. And
You
Okay.
start off.
If
I
you want
think
to
you
join
should join
in,
in.
feel free
Okay.
to join in.
Yep.
The Popcorn
Popcorn Pundits
Podcast.
Award ceremony special.
20.
Episode 20, not
Yes.
like last week.
Sorry, I got it wrong last
And
Yes.
we're doing an Oscars special.
It's an Oscar special, especially for you people out there.
And for those of you viewing on YouTube, you'll
Yes.
see we've got a slightly different
Layout.
setup today.
We do. And I wonder if we sound different to our listeners as well. That'd be quite interesting to find out.
We probably do, because the mics are placed strategically.
This
Where?
is your Popcorn Pundits.
Strategically.
This is week 20. Traditionally, we'd usually review one film and then we'd go on to homework and we'd also talk about the top 10. But this week is a special week. This week, we are celebrating the Oscars. Good old Oscar. And then we're going to talk about Peter's homework, and then we're going to talk about homework for next week.
Okay.
Nikki, you're in charge this week because
Am I?
you watched the Oscars.
I did.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us what time it started at. Tell us what time it finished
I think
at.
it started about 10:30 UK time.
Yes.
So I put it on while I was pottering about getting ready for bed. Yes, I do potter.
Yes.
And not the Harry kind.
No.
And I thought, I'll go to bed after the next award.
Category, yes.
And then the In Memory thing came on, and I thought, I want to watch that. And then I thought, I'll go to bed. And then the I'm Just Ken song happened. I thought, I'll go to bed after that.
Right.
Next thing I know, it was the last award, and it was 2:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Did anyone good die? Did anyone good die this week?
Did anyone good die?
Yeah, was it good?
Do you know
always like
what?
that bit
It
as
was
well.
one of those. I'd forgotten that person had died this year. Because Michael Gambon died
Yeah.
2023.
He did.
And I'd completely forgotten.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And obviously Matthew Perry and stuff. And it was interesting because I was watching the ITV programme and they were saying it's interesting that they'd put him in because he's not widely recognised for his films. He's obviously widely recognised culturally for
Yes.
Friends.
Exactly.
But obviously he did 17 again and the one with Bruce Willis.
9 yards, whole 9
Oh,
yards.
9 yards.
Yeah.
So, and other things.
Which was quite frankly a terrible film.
But now it's probably long enough after his death that you could make an inappropriate joke about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Don't
we'll
mind
do that
talking
next time.
about
We'll do that next time in the hot tub.
So it was a long award ceremony.
It always is, though.
But I've heard that I haven't seen the award ceremony, so we're guided by you this week.
Okay.
But I have heard several different things. I've heard that it wasn't as awkward as award ceremonies have been in the past.
It was still awkward bits,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't as awkward. There was no one got punched.
Okay.
Jimmy, whichever one
Yeah.
he is, Fallon or Kimmel.
Yep, Kimmel, I think it
I
was.
think
yeah.
it was Kimmel.
Mhm.
He actually did okay.
Did he?
Yeah.
It's
Good.
very funny.
He had
Yeah.
a weird assistant man with him who
Did he?
gave all the audience tequila and they all drank tequila together, but
Nice.
he was a bit weird,
He had
yeah.
a massive bow tie on, didn't he?
I think so.
It was gigantic.
And he was, I don't know if he was pretending to be, if he actually was like Spanish or Mexican or Uruguayan.
Oh, really?
Uruguayan.
Wow.
Uruguayan.
Be careful of that snow.
Yeah, he
Doesn't
does.
That won an award, didn't it? Society of the
We'll
Snow.
get to that.
But we'll get to that in a moment. Nikki's going to give us the full synopsis of each one of the films, that each category of that's one.
Yeah.
And then Peter and I are going to scoff, laugh, or
Give
really
our
loudly.
views on it.
Are you
Yes.
going to really loudly? Okay.
Really
So
loudly.
the first one on our list is Act When a Leading Role. Now, my favourite thing about the Oscars
Yes.
was what they did with things like the actor and actresses in leading roles and supporting roles was they brought out previous winners and then each one had a nominee to talk about.
Did they?
Yeah, so they brought out
right.
like Brendan Fraser, Nicolas Cage.
Right.
And they each...
Nicolas Cage came out.
Nicolas Cage came
Did
out.
he do a high kick?
He
Please tell
didn't,
me.
but he made a joke about a bad film. I think he was speaking to Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
And he made a joke about bad film and said, I would have done it or something because he'd said how bad it was or there was something. It was really funny.
Oh, we love Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, if you're ever free, there's always a space on our sofa for you.
Always.
Okay.
My main favourite thing as well about the Oscars
Yes.
was a lot of the presenters were American, and a lot of the winners were British and Irish. So
Now, I've been told by some people in the media that obviously you're going to tell us who won the Oscar, the male. Would you like to give us who won the male Oscar?
So the actor in the leading role was Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
Yes. Now I've been told he's the first Irish-born actor to win an Oscar.
I believe so. And he did dedicate it to Ireland.
Nice.
So yeah, he...
Well done, Killian.
This was kind of like the worst kept secret of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who was going to win this?
Yeah.
Did anyone else have a chance of winning it? Okay, or another question. Which of the other nominees do you think thought they were going to win it?
Do you know what? I think a lot
That's
of
a very
people
good-
actually thought that Jeremy Wright for American Fiction was second, because a lot of people were discussing American Fiction and they talked about it a lot.
Well, it would have been a deserving winner of it,
Yeah,
I think. to be
I
honest
think
with
they
you.
all would have
I thought he
been.
played it. I think Bradley Cooper thought he was going to win an Oscar.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah.
I
He
mean,
took his mum along. Of
I
course
think Bradley
he did.
Cooper thought he was going to win a lot
All
and
the
didn't
kind
win
of
a lot.
Sky trailers for Maestro are. I found them a little bit over the top.
Yeah,
to be
they are.
totally honest.
For your consideration, Bradley Cooper. Yes, I mean, I personally, I love Cillian Murphy and I love Oppenheimer, but I personally feel that Jeffrey Wright or Paul Giamatti should have won. Personally.
I don't think Paul Giamatti for The Holders. I don't think that was an Oscar-worthy performance.
When we've gone through the
personally.
categories, I've got a very interesting theory that someone brought up in the categories.
Okay.
To do with Paul Giamatti.
Right. Okay.
So,
Are we saving that for the end, are we?
yeah, that's what I said when we've gone through the categories.
I'm just like I like to do things right now. Tell me now.
So
now.
Cillian Murphy,
You've
number
got to
one.
keep them hanging on.
Yeah, exactly. That's
that's
what
how
we
this
do in
shit works.
broadcasting.
Okay.
Coming up and later on in a podcast,
So,
Nicky's going to tell us
Actor
something.
in a supporting role
Yes.
was won by Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer.
Yeah. You see, Ruffalo should have won it as far as I was concerned.
Mark
I
Ruffalo,
thought he might,
absolutely,
to be fair,
100%.
and I think a lot of people thought he was going to win it.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. love him to bits, but I don't actually remember that much of him in Oppenheimer.
I actually also think Ken should have won it.
No,
Do you not?
I disagree completely. No, I think Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, I think my money would have been on Mark Ruffalo as well. I mean, he was without doubt the most unusual character that I've seen that actor play all
Yes,
the time.
and he really invested into it as well.
And this felt to me like this was the only chance they ever had to give Robert Downey Jr.
Probably, yeah.
Because,
I think they kept making a joke about that.
Well, he won. Didn't he win an Oscar for Chaplin, which he really deserved. It's an amazing film. Okay, next.
Actress in a leading role
Yes.
was one that we've actually reviewed.
Yes.
The winner was Emma Stone for Poor Things.
I'm so happy about
No,
this.
you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
Why is he not?
Why am I
Because
not?
you wanted it to be Lily Gladstone. You said that when
I
Elizabeth
did.
Flower Moon came out,
And
and you
then-
said if she doesn't win an Oscar for this, then
Yes.
there's something wrong in the world.
And then Poor Things came
And
out.
do you know what? Well, I was going to say the thing that's wrong in,
In
the world was
hindsight.
you.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
The thing that was wrong was Poor Things hadn't come out
the
yet.
thing wrong is time. That's what happens. Time is an evil
Um,
creature.
My favourite thing about Emma Stone as well was the fact that her dress broke.
Yes.
Halfway, so I think she was walking up the stairs and then she went to everyone, "Don't look at my dress, it's broken," and then turned around and went, "Look, my dress broke."
But she seemed to spend the whole night like a little 5-year-old at her own birthday party. She was
Yeah.
like running
You
around.
can
like,
tell she's lovely.
Hi.
That's it.
She actually
having her
accused
best life.
Ryan Gosling's performance
Yes.
of "I'm Ken" on
I'm
breaking
the
her dress.
Yeah,
Wow.
I saw that.
We love Emma, and
We do.
rightly so deserved. Right.
Actress in a supporting role was Divine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers,
Yes.
This is
which we reviewed in episode 18.
Not Rudolph.
Yeah.
Did I
Which
say
episode?
Rudolph?
No, I did though. When we
Yeah.
were on episode 18, I said Rudolph.
Oh,
Absolutely, totally deserved.
100%.
I think
Yeah.
she was actually quite shocked as well that she'd won it. Her speech was lovely.
My money was either on Divine or Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought Jodie Foster was
Wasn't she?
brilliant in the ad. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was fantastic. But it's
See, I'm an America Ferrera girl who looked absolutely insane.
To be fair though, what she brought to Barbie was what she brings to everything, and
Yeah.
rightly so. And
She's
she's an
an
amazing
incredible
actor,
actress.
but it was nothing different to what you would usually do, and quite frankly, I think it was the right decision.
Fair
Because you
enough.
can't pronounce Divine Joy Randolph properly.
I'm ignoring him. I'm ignoring him.
And interrupting him.
Exactly.
Animated feature film. The winner was The Boy and the Heron.
Tell me about it.
Absolute fucking travesty.
Let me
saw
guess.
this
You
one,
wanted
didn't
robot
you?
dreams to win.
I think I said
You wanted
in a-
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
You wanted
across the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse,
You wanted
yeah.
Absolute travesty. It should have been Spider-Man. It is like one of the best animated movies ever made.
I have to agree with Peter on this.
Have you not seen
Do
the
you?
Have you not
Yes.
seen the Tigger movie?
No, I haven't.
No, I have to agree with
Yes,
Peter. I really, really enjoyed the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And I thought Boy and Heron was a disappointment.
Yeah,
in,
you
in,
did. I mean, you
in,
came
in
out
their
like-
world.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a real Miyazaki fan.
Yeah, I love it.
And you came out going absolute shambles.
Yeah.
It was just like
Absolutely.
So
It
yeah,
was-
so
And I'm
the
not familiar with
Academy,
it.
the Academy got it wrong.
I'm not familiar with the other one, so yeah,
Yeah.
Spider-Man Across the... Yep.
So I'll send an email and I'll get them to change that if that's all right.
Yeah, just get him to post the Oscar to the right people.
Yep, perfect. Cinematography was Oppenheimer.
Again, I wasn't hugely. I don't agree with that 100%. To be honest with you, I think Killers of the Flower Moon's cinematography was better, and I also think Poor Things' cinematography was better than Oppenheimer.
That's
I
fair.
thought it was actually I think it was their weakest win. Oppenheimer's.
I think June 2 should have won.
June the 2nd.
Yeah.
It's
Next year it'll
yeah,
win.
next year.
It'll
I was
win
going to
next
say
year.
next year
It'll win
because
next
it's too...
But yet again, I agree with Peter. I think Poor Things should have won. Not too sure about Killers of the Flower Moon in reference to cinematography, because I think they were just using what they had in front of them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Whereas Poor Things, they created.
They did create.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They created a completely different world for you, and it's very steampunky, but also beautifully weird and drew you in. And it seemed to go on forever and ever and ever, and yeah, but also very close at the same time. Very, very clever.
Nice.
Yes.
Costume design was won by Poor Things.
Well, I agree.
It could have been any of them.
To be fair, Napoleon could have won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, so it's Poor Things. I know we're not doing this for all of them, but Poor Things, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, and Oppenheimer. So I do think it was a really good category.
Yeah.
I think that was probably one of the closest decisions they had
I
to make
think-
because
I
they were all absolutely epic.
Fantastic suits of Poor Things. So.
They
It was
were,
just James
They were.
voting.
Yeah, I know. We got the fabric books out after that,
Absolutely.
didn't
You
we?
did
Trying to
indeed.
recreate
Look
some
at
of
those
them.
shirts you made.
Absolutely.
Directing.
Directing
Yes.
was Mr. Nolan. Christopher
Can I just say
Nolan
something?
for Oppenheimer.
If you look at those lists of directors, that is a meaty list. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
absolutely.
You just
Martin
need,
Scorsese's
you just
in
need
there.
Dennis in there as well. And that's it. You've got the full clan, haven't you? Really, it's just absolutely what a party that would be.
It was so funny because all of them coming up to collect their awards, they kept wishing their mums Happy Mother's Day.
Ah,
And all the Americans are like, what is
what are you
going
talking
on?
about? What are you talking about?
But you wanted Christopher Nolan to win, didn't you? That would
I
be-
want Christopher Nolan to win everything.
Yeah,
I think a
was
lot
gonna
of
say-
Generally.
people did. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people, that one I don't think was a surprise to anyone. I think people knew that one was in the...
And as films go, I feel as a whole film, I feel that is justly deserved as a film. Whereas individual performances, I don't think he did deserve it.
The only kind of caveat I'd put on that is because I know you haven't seen Anatomy of a Fall yet. As a film with a totally different construct,
Yes.
Anatomy of a Fall, I think would run a very, very close second. It's a very, very different format to a
Yeah.
film than anything I've ever seen before, and I do think that's a really important part of direction.
Okay.
It's,
Nice.
No, I agree.
Again, it is a very good category though.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So the next one was documentary feature film.
Yes.
Now this one's really interesting, and the winner was 20 Days in Mariupol, and it was all about the Ukraine situation. And that the director who won it, he obviously was like, "This is going to be the weirdest thank you ever at the Oscars," because he was like, "In a way, I wish I hadn't won this because I shouldn't have to have made the film."
Exactly. Yeah,
To
that makes
win
sense.
it, so he's
Yeah.
like, I kind of want it and don't want it,
Yeah.
and it was such a lovely speech that he did, like obviously honouring Ukraine, and it was, it made you think of it that he was like, I shouldn't be here winning this because this should never have happened.
Yeah, I mean,
and-
there's always going to be a bittersweet moment when you are
Yeah.
documenting something that is horrendous or something that shouldn't be going on to highlight it for the rest of the world. And if it wins, it gets the accolade, which you want because you want to be able to spread the word because that's the reason why you created this piece of art in the first place. But he's 100% right. if it wasn't there, he wouldn't have had to make it.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that.
And
He was the first Ukrainian.
I was just about to say, I
sorry.
believe he's the first. That's the first Ukrainian Oscar as well.
Really? So you got first Irish and first Ukrainian?
Apparently so.
Yes.
I'm not familiar. Sadly, I'm not familiar with the rest of the nominees, so I can't really comment.
I'm not, but they did show. They always show like little previews before, when they announce the nominees, and they actually all looked really interesting.
Okay.
So I might go and have a look at those and see if there's anything
Good.
that I enjoy. And the same with the next one, documentary short film.
Yes.
It was one that was called The Last Repair Shop that won.
Right.
And I believe it was about people donating, please correct me if I'm wrong, people comment, people were donating old musical instruments and they were repairing them and giving them to schools in America because of budgets and
Rather than guns.
And certain laws in America are saying you can't play
They've got
musical
their own
instruments.
guns already. They don't need any more.
Certain schools in America, I think, are saying like we're banning music lessons and we're banning, and this was all about. And they brought the cutest little 12-year-old girl up on stage to accept the Oscar with them.
That's nice.
The next one is for film editing.
Yes.
Again, an amazing category, and the winner was Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't argue with that, I don't think.
No, to be fair, I mean, if Christopher Nolan's behind the camera and he's in charge of editing, he's going to make sure it's good done.
Yeah, exactly.
Jennifer obviously was working hard for him.
Yeah. International feature film, which was actually won by good old United Kingdom.
Zone of Interest.
For the Zone of Interest,
Yes.
which I have not seen yet, and I really want to see. I believe you're halfway through.
Halfway through, yeah.
What's your thoughts so far?
It's a really uncomfortable watch.
Am I going to like it?
You're
going
going to absolutely love
gonna
it.
really
I
like
mean,
it.
so I mean, what you're watching is you're watching a feature film which has got this underlying soundtrack behind it, which obviously we know the concept of the film.
Yeah.
It's the house on the
Shower.
on the gates of Auschwitz, and it's the juxtaposition between everyday normal family life and the atrocities which were happening within Auschwitz, and it's difficult to watch because it's filmed just with natural lighting, and when they're in the house, they only use like the house's lights rather than actually using any kind of cinematic light or anything. So it's quite a grainy, difficult watch in terms of that way. Then you've got the soundtrack as well, and then you've got the actual subject matter.
Yeah.
So it is.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So
it is a heavy watch.
Yeah.
Even though it was won by the UK, the guy is obviously a descendant of.
Yes.
Question: would you watch it on the same day as watching One Life?
Ooh.
That's a very good question. If I had to,
And in what order?
yeah, there's a definite order. You have to watch One Life afterwards just to recover.
Oh,
yeah, do you know what? I totally get
I
that.
don't. Yeah.
Humanity.
But would you do that though?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think it's two very, very different takes on different parts of this, of the same story.
Yeah,
But
I see where you're coming from. If you made the effort to do that, you have to ask yourself what reason you're doing that for. However, Society of the Snow is in that list,
It
and I
is.
think that should have definitely had some sort of accolade for something, whether it be the sheer sort of
Is
well doneness.
an Oscar nomination not accolade enough
Not
for
for
you?
me.
Okay.
Not for my Spanish
We'll
mates.
give it a Chainsaw Award.
Yeah.
I wonder if Alive won an Oscar. I can't remember.
Makeup and hairstyling was Poor Things.
100%. I'm all over that.
Apart from
Society of the Snow could have won, couldn't it?
Maestro could have won that.
With the makeup.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm not being funny, but
Yeah.
I mean, you would
It does look different.
you would not know that
No.
it wasn't. Anyway,
Well, unless you compare pictures,
yeah.
like everybody else has been doing on the internet. Right.
Music, original score was Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I mean, the music was epic, and
It
wasn't
was.
it was just like powered you through the film. It
And-
was,
The quiet was the right quietness, the loud was the right loudness.
Yeah, again, I think Poor Things with its quirky violins and its
well, it wasn't really a soundtrack, was it?
No,
So
it
this is what we
wasn't.
said afterwards.
It was
You'd never
used-
download the soundtrack and listen to it on a drive, would you? Because most of it was just like violin squawkage. Well, yeah, you would. Okay.
James would.
Anyway,
I was going to say, you've been doing this for 20 weeks, Peter, come on.
But there was also a lot of talk about American Fiction winning this category as well, because it was an amazing score that was written for that.
Yeah, I did have very strong views about that. The music in American Fiction, if you recall. And if you listen to our past podcasts about American Fiction, one of my thoughts for the music in American Fiction was that some of it was a bit forced. A little bit less music for my jazz-loving ears, personally.
Okay, brilliant. Let's have some squawky violin instead.
Music original song was won by it was What Was I Made For, and it was by Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell. This is her second Oscar win, and she's 22. I think she won her first one at 18.
Wasn't that for James Bond?
Yeah,
I thought so. Yeah, which peaked really early, and then they didn't release the movie, and it was too late.
Yeah. But do you not feel like this feels like a bit of a Barbie needed to win an Oscar? I don't know, they got 2, didn't they?
No, I really like Billie Eilish, and I think
I do too. But I just wish they'd won a couple of stronger categories than this. But
interesting. Best Picture.
Best Picture.
We're back to Oppenheimer again.
So we could kind of discuss the fact that we started our podcast a few weeks too late.
We did.
I mean, that is a strong list, isn't it?
It is. It's a really
Poor
strong
Things,
list.
Past Lives, which is incredible, which hasn't been mentioned yet, and that should be mentioned in the foreign language category as well, as far as I'm concerned. Maestro, which I haven't seen. Killers of the Flower Moon, which was epic.
Maestro is actually brilliant. I've
The
got to say,
holdovers,
as a film, it is fantastic.
And Barbie for itself, for what it was absolutely brilliant for what it was. Not as good as Mean Girls, but that's another completely. And As Me Before, haven't seen it yet, but I just cannot wait to see it.
Yeah.
And obviously, American Fiction. You see, American Fiction is just... It's nominated, which is fantastic, but still, I think it should win more this year.
It's had a lot of nominations this year. And production design, again, was Poor Things. Sound.
Yes, sound.
Oh, you're not changing pages. Was The Zone of Interest, so that was its second Oscar. So
yeah, and they this kind of had to win it, to be honest with you, because of the sound concept that they came up with. It was
instead of Maestro.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, I think it won it because it was a unique. It was a unique way of using sound in a film that I've never seen it in any way, shape or form like that before. Deservedly winner.
And the Mission Impossible was also one of the nominees.
Good old Tom, he got one in there, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, it's very rare he gets even a sniff nowadays. After saving the cinema when he brought out Maverick.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, exactly.
So writing and this category was adapted screenplay.
Yes.
Was the one that you saw as Screen Unseen, episode 13, American Fiction.
And rightly so deserved.
It was a brilliant film.
Adapted screenplay is the perfect Oscar for that film, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, secondly, I would have put Poor Things. Obviously, The Zone of Interest is obviously on that list as well, even without me seeing it.
They've had quite a few nominations in this year's Oscars, which I think in itself is, it's great.
Absolutely.
Visual effects was Godzilla -1.
Yes.
I don't think anyone argued with that.
I knew you'd love this.
Very,
as a
very
winner.
pleased.
Go on.
Come on.
I still find the visual effects in that film bizarre, because it does feel like you're watching a film from the 1970s,
Exactly.
and for that to win the visual effects award is actually quite a thing, isn't it? Now we are unfortunately going to have to watch the new Godzilla movie, which is coming out, which is in a few weeks' time, and it's just so bizarre how
different
the Japanese filmmakers and the US filmmakers
brought it back to reality. They made it real again.
They did, absolutely. So I'm thrilled it got an award.
I really enjoyed their speech as well.
I think Napoleon could have got it.
Do you?
Maybe for that horse moment.
That horse moment, I'm not joking, is one of the most harrowing things I've ever seen ever. And I've seen a lot of harrowing stuff.
Recently.
James has recommended it. I mean, again, Mission Impossible's in there. Guardians of the Galaxy is always good visually as well. And the creator
Yeah,
Creation was beautiful. It really was beautiful, but it was just the pace of it just wasn't quite enough for me.
And I guess with Guardians and Mission Impossible, we've kind of been there, seen that, done that before.
And that's that's a dirty end of the stick, isn't it, for them? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
so they've been handed that, and they had to go through with it, didn't they?
And then writing original screenplay, the winner was Anatomy of a Fall.
Which you've seen,
I have seen.
and do you agree with that? Bearing in mind, it gets holdovers, Maestro. I haven't seen Made to December.
No, I wanted to see what that was about actually, and Past Lives.
Past
as
Lives
well.
is beautiful, but it's quite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy with Anatomy of a Fall. I mean, the holdovers I think deserved another Oscar or two. To be totally honest with you, I think it's a future classic, absolutely 100%.
Now on that, the holdovers deserving an Oscar. They were talking about this on the programme I was watching until 2:30 in the morning, and they said that they don't think it was very fair for the holdovers because a lot of these films are very serious and there's not really like a best comedy category. So should there be a best comedy category, do you think?
No, because if you do best comedy category, that means you've got to do best thriller category. You've got to do best
sci-fi.
But then all the serious films have won, like
Right.
Oppenheimer and Poor Things. So how does a comedy win?
Poor Things was funny. I mean, it was very, very funny, in fact. Oppenheimer, not so much. But not renowned for their laughs.
I think it just has to be a comedy of epic stature, doesn't it? To be totally honest with you, I think it's.
I mean, we've had comedies win quite high accolades in
guess.
the Oscars in the past.
Or if not, it just wins the Chainsaw Awards, doesn't it? So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well,
It's James is going to this year.
And I think you need that level. I think I've got very conflicting views about the Oscars generally because looking at a piece of artwork on the screen for somebody else to subject it, and pretty much what we do on a weekly basis and review it and give it a score out of 10, which kind of goes completely against my philosophy about art, but it needs to go out there and people need to know about it, so then it opens up the conversation so they can have that conversation. So if the Oscars and these award ceremonies do nothing else but highlight certain movies that people would not have seen before, I'm really, really pleased with it. That's how I feel about the Oscars.
And I guess with the Oscars as well, it's all people who nominated. The people who are judging it, I should say, but they're part of the Academy, whereas things like the BAFTAs and Critics' Choice, if they still do that, but things like that is, some of the categories are public nominated, so it is interesting the different opinions between public and Academy.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I mean, I can't believe the amount of people that I speak to when I talk about Popcorn Pundits and talk about films and so on and so forth. And I thought, have you heard about Poor Things, for instance? And even obviously 2 weeks ago, nobody, no matter how many times we got excited about Poor Things, me explaining to people about this amazing film, and they're looking at it, I've never heard of it before. Yeah. So I'd like to think the Oscars will be bringing those slightly more quirky films that aren't the norm.
I agree.
To the forefront.
Because even those short films that I mentioned, the Mariupol one that won, some of those I actually think I want to watch because they showed the small clip and I thought, oh, actually, that does look really interesting.
All in all, I mean, over the last 20 weeks, I mean, we've, apart from us starting after Oppenheimer came out, I mean, we've seen the majority of the films which have been nominated through the Oscars.
And I think we've pretty much agreed with... Yeah, we picked the right ones, I think.
So there is one more that isn't actually on this list, which I'd be interested to get James's opinion on.
Oh dear.
It is Best Animated Short, and it was called War Is Over, and it's inspired by the music of John and Yoko.
Is it?
Do you think you would watch that?
I'm
not quite sure what it was about.
Well, it all depends. I would know instantly by the first 2 frames that I'm going to enjoy it or not. Mainly because it all depends how it's been produced. So it's impossible for me to say until I start.
But it's animated as well.
I don't mind animated.
Yeah.
And look at Marcel.
Oh, he should have just won it all anyway. And there was obviously throughout the... I was going to say performance throughout the show.
Yeah.
Is it a show?
It is a show.
Okay. There was lots of different performances. Billie Eilish did her song that she won the Oscar for.
Yep.
And Ryan Gosling
did Ken.
I'm Just Ken.
Are you a fan of Ryan Gosling?
No, I'm a fan of Barbie. And he brought some of the Kens back who were in the background. And obviously Mark Ronson was there because he helped write it and produce it. And then suddenly there's a guitar solo going on.
Slash, wasn't it?
It was Slash.
Wow.
How cool was that?
Like, imagine being there and suddenly
Yeah.
Slash just...
Comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What does Slash do? Wow.
With his hat and his guitar.
Rather than doing that.
And his curly hair.
Is it still his hair, do you reckon? He's got to be like 70.
Yeah,
now.
but it's probably died.
Yeah.
That hair's probably...
It's not his face.
That looks... yeah. That look that he has is probably worth millions. Like, he's
Yeah.
not going to change it.
No, absolutely.
He's probably got the best hairstylist out there.
Oh, best selection of wigs out there.
I might give that a go.
Or extensions.
Yeah.
It's hard to get curly hair extensions.
So all in all, I think we think this was a pretty decent Oscars, don't we?
I think you're right.
I think all the winners were deserving winners.
Oh, good. We'll wait till next year then.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got an opinion about the Oscars, if you think somebody should have won, somebody shouldn't have won, if you don't agree with our point of view about the Oscars, please let us know. How would people let us know, Nikki and Peter?
You go for it this time, Peter.
Or you can write a little message or comment underneath our YouTube videos, or you can DM us on Instagram.
Yep.
Or if you know us
Drop us a
personally,
DM.
if you ask me to do something, don't interrupt, James. My mother will have a go at you.
Sorry, Mum.
Or if you know us personally, then you can just WhatsApp us personally, and we'll just transfer it over to our group chat.
You look very chilled out right now.
I'm really happy.
You look like you're about to do a big speech.
Well, I am. I'm about to talk about a film which isn't going to win any awards.
Just quickly before we go into that, what is the cut-off, do we know, for the Oscars? Because I'm actually quite surprised that One Life was not nominated. And Poor Things was, and that came out later.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So it just wasn't nominated then?
No, but don't forget, it's all down to budgets, because they have to spend a ton load of money to be nominated.
Do they?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
You have to pay to be nominated. You have to pay. You basically have to advertise who you're nominating.
Yeah.
And I presume that's down to the producers have to fork out the money for that.
Yeah.
Or maybe the actors have to do that if they want to be nominated. I'm not too sure exactly who
Or maybe
finances
the,
it, but I know it
I
costs.
presume it'd be the production companies, because I mean the amount of films that
Yeah,
we've
you'd
seen
think
by
so,
Film
wouldn't you?
4 and like, we've seen a lot of films by the same productions.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
No, and
It's
that's
interesting.
Yeah, and I think it is purely down to finances a lot of the time.
Because the tickets as well for the Vanity Fair show afterwards, aren't they all like 10 grand each or
Wouldn't
something?
surprise me.
Not at all.
But don't forget, every single actor and every single person sitting in that chair gets a humongous goodie bag to take away with them.
But allegedly,
with cars in it and all sorts.
allegedly they get in
in
free
Yes.
to the Vanity Fair.
There you go.
So it's the Joe Blogs that have to pay the 10 grand.
So the multi-millionaires turning up to their party don't have to pay a thing
It's
to go out.
crazy.
And anybody else wants to rub shoulders with them,
10
like me and
grand.
James May on Saturday night
And do you know how long it takes them to put the red carpet down?
on the floor. Mm-hmm.
Where else are they gonna
I know blokes who do it in like 5 minutes.
On the ceiling.
How long did it take?
It took loads of people about 3 days.
Really?
Yeah,
It's a long red carpet.
it's a very long
It's a
red
long
carpet.
red carpet.
You listen to all the fluff before the
I do,
between-
yeah.
between the
So that is your 2024 Oscars. We
Yes.
went through all of the winners, losers, and in-betweeners.
Yeah. No, that film came out years ago.
So that is our Oscar special.
That is.
Let's go back to something that's fairly normal. Let's go back to Peter's homework.
I thought you meant in
P.T.
general.
McPete, I gave you Under the Skin.
You did, which isn't normal. Just
No,
putting
I was
it
gonna
there.
say.
It's not normal at all.
Great book.
Good. Excellent.
Peter, would you like to let us know all about it and what you felt about it?
Yeah, so I think we're going to do this as a discussion like we did last week.
Let's
if that's
do
okay
that.
as well, because
Please do.
I'm going to tell you what the film appears to be about, and then I'm sure you're going to tell. I mean, when you told me last week that
Mother.
was about
What
the
it's
Earth,
about.
religion, and
Mother Earth,
everything,
that sort of thing. Exactly.
blew my mind again.
Good.
Anyway, so
And
I watched.
I love when you got back to me and you went, What did you
I said the crystal is the forbidden
The apple.
fruit, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ!
Of course it
There's
is.
these things that just pop into
Mother
my head.
Earth.
Yeah.
You see? Mother Nature. Anyway.
So, Under the Skin.
Yes.
seaweed
Is a
is always
pay-for
green.
film on Prime, and it's directed by Jonathan Glazer.
Yes.
And it basically just stars Scarlett Johansson.
And some other people
Some
in the
other
background.
people.
But they're kind of in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're introduced to Scarlett Johansson
We are.
in a weird white and black world
It is.
with a shiny black squeaky floor, where she is undressing another lady who appears to be dead taking her clothes and
Yes.
disappearing out of the white and black room.
That's right.
Scarlett Johansson is depicted as an alien who drives round the Highlands of Scotland
That's right.
and Glasgow trying to find men.
Yes.
And it looks
Aren't
like
we
she's
all?
trying to solicit them.
Yes.
Aren't we all?
And then when she finds men who are
Just following
unattached,
you, weren't they?
Pretty much. It's
Yeah.
my life story.
she takes them back to the white and black room,
Yes.
where you think there's going to be some naughtiness
Hanky-panky.
happening, but she doesn't have hanky-panky with them. She
No.
basically just puts them into another dimension and eats their souls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, but
It's my life story, pretty much.
with a nice cup of tea.
I just
Oh,
suck-
yeah, and a
suck the
biscuit.
life out of you.
And a chocolate digestive.
So anyway, so this happens on a reoccurring basis.
It does.
She finds other and other men, and then there's another character in this who's a man on a motorcycle
That's right.
who basically sweeps up and cleans up when Scarlett Johansson does it wrong.
Yes.
And I don't really know who he is.
He's her friend.
Yes.
Do you know who
Yes,
he
I do.
is?
In the book,
Yeah?
there's a lot more layers with it, and in the book, it's actually formulated as a little army-esque group that have landed onto planet Earth, and they've all got little jobs themselves.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so that's
Because
the reason-
he's not
never-
really
I
not
know-
really explained.
No, that's what I love about it, though.
Do you? Because
Yes.
I just found it really weird.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of like, who are you?
Exactly.
And like he's kind of back again. He's quite mean.
Yes.
But then that meanness isn't really kind of
Well,
developed in any
doesn't
way,
know
shape, or
human. He
form.
doesn't know human emotion because what you find is that there's certain characters that have been on the planet, have been on Earth longer. They're given more information, and so they know how to act as a human.
Right.
Whereas
Okay.
his job
So
isn't.
basically, Scarlett Johansson is emotionless
Yes.
and pretty much wordless. She barely speaks. She barely interacts with the men that she kind of takes back to the black and
She
white
doesn't need
sexy
to, though, does
Still
she?
my life
I mean, if
story.
you're in the pub and you saw Scarlett
Yeah, I mean,
Johansson,
she-
Oh,
she
thanks.
went.
She plays a proper
really?
siren, absolutely, and she plays it really, really well. Actually, I have to say, she's really, really good at it.
You'd go back to the room, wouldn't you?
100%. And then she comes across a deformed man, as he's described in the
Yes.
in the credits,
Mhm.
and she seems to develop a degree of emotion because she doesn't put him into the alternate universe and suck his soul dry.
No.
She lets him go,
Mm.
and I'm not going to say what happens after that about that. And then she kind of changes a little bit, and then she meets a really nice man,
Yes.
and again, I think she kind of develops from being this soulless, emotionless alien to thinking, actually, maybe these human beings aren't so bad, and then she finds out that they are.
Yeah, because she starts. What she starts to do, she starts to.
Empathise.
Yeah, not only, but also she starts to actually learn more. Initially, she's just there to. It's just
They're food.
yeah, it's an energy-driven process, and her learning about the humans.
Yeah.
There's an empathy going on there, and that's where that connection starts to come. Now, in the book, their transformation, their physical transformation, is completely different. In the book, they kind of turn into, they unfold their skin, and they kind of turn into a cross between a gigantic cow and wolf at the same time, but completely black.
Right. Okay.
But not in the film.
But there is a black alien
There is.
that is
Unfolded.
unfolded
Yes.
from, but weirdly still looks like Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
It's and then Scarlett Johansson's outer skin then looks up at the inner black Scarlett Johansson, which is like one of the coolest moments in the
I
film.
know,
actually.
yeah.
But I mean, you can see how they've done it. It's very clever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that happens, and then the film ends.
Yes.
And then I sat there scratching my head for a while, thinking. Well, there we go.
Typical James
that's
film.
a typical James film. So, did you read the book before the film?
Yes, I read the book, and then I saw the film twice.
Okay. So,
Yes.
I think this is a book rather than a film.
I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. But I did enjoy the film. That's
Okay.
why I watched it twice.
Okay.
Mm.
I might give the book a go because I didn't
Yeah,
enjoy
good
the
idea.
film. I get why you like it, and I like the fact that you're in a quite energyless, repetitive.
Still like our friend cleaning the toilet last week.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But you do like this, and it's you being in a place of meditative repetition of the same kind of story going along with a fucking batshit bonkers crescendo at the end, which is like. And I must admit, I was halfway through this, and I texted
Waiting.
you. I texted you. I was just like,
waiting for the James end.
I can sense a men moment coming, and lo and behold, there is an epic men moment.
There is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what I love about it is the fact that it does feel homegrown. It does feel British or Scottish made.
It does,
and it does feel it's under the radar. It's not very many people know about this film, and it's just a nice little hidden gem, I think.
Yeah, good.
Scores?
If you've liked James's other films, you'll probably like this. For me, it's a 6.2. I'm looking forward
Still
to
not a bad.
It's 6.3 on IMDb.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And it actually had 111 nominations, 23 wins, one of which was a Chainsaw Award for Best Score.
Chainsaw!
And 2 Chainsaw nominations, as well, 2 other nominations for Best Limited Release Direct-to-Video Film and Best Actress for Scarlett Johansson.
I think we should make an effort next year to go to Chainsaw Awards.
I think we should as well.
Where are they?
In America.
Okay, let's do that then.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Deal. Yeah, it was fun. Thank you very much. Have you got any other homework for me for this week?
I do, strangely enough.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes. Now, this one is continued with the theme of skin.
Okay.
Yes.
God.
But also continue with the theme of a commercial actor doing a non-commercial film.
Okay.
I love it when they do these low radar movies that people go, yeah, but you're such a big actor. Why are you doing this for? And what I really love about that is it's obviously it's a moment of love on their behalf. It's a case of putting aside the Hollywood dream, putting aside the large budgets, putting aside all the special effects and so on and so forth. I want to do something that's uniquely beautiful and artistic. Okay. So this is it's a Spanish movie.
Ooh.
Okay.
Subtitles. You did use your new.
Are we talking Penelope Cruz now?
Well, no, we're talking Antonio Banderas.
I was just about to guess
Antonio
that.
Banderas.
Can you say it properly?
Prepare for Messi.
And a cat.
In Puss. In Boots.
Puss in Boots. But he's not playing Puss in Boots.
Oh, I
No.
don't watch it.
Antonio
2 out of
Banderas played. Why am I saying it like that for?
What?
My wife is going to kill me.
You should probably do a Spanish accent if you're talking about a Spanish actor.
Not my Scottish accent.
I didn't want to say how Scottish it sounded.
Let's go back to the Irish roots.
It's a psychological thriller. It is.
Antonio Banderas.
You
He's
can me
in the house. It is a 2011 film. It's a slow burn to begin with. Okay, I'm just warning you now. But as the film develops, it's apparently obvious that it's going to be a James movie. It's called the Skin I Live In.
Didn't I just see Scarlett Johansson in this?
Nope, that was Under the Skin.
Sorry.
The Skin I Live In. Psychological Spanish thriller with Antonio Banderas. If you've seen the movie, let us know what you think. If you haven't seen the movie, download it and watch it this week and compare Peter's review next week.
Awesome. And if you've got any comments about the Oscar winners or nominations, then message us about those as well.
That'd be fantastic.
Definitely.
Yes. Is that it?
Yeah, I guess.
What films do we have next week? I'd like to go and see Imaginary, which is Ryan Reynolds' new movie.
Mm-hmm.
What else have we
I'm
got?
just trying to think what else is coming out.
I think there's a horror movie coming out fairly soon as well. And don't forget, we've obviously got Ghostbusters coming out fairly soon as well, which I'm very excited about.
End
I
of
have
this
to
month.
say.
It does. The trailer looks
Yeah,
amazing.
it
It
does.
looks pretty good.
Yeah, I presume you've seen the last rebooted version of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think they did an amazing job with that, and I think it was justifiably sort of accoladed as well, which is rightly so. Good. I'll be happy.
We're happy.
I'll be
Always.
happy. Thank you so much
That's okay.
for hosting and guiding us through.
For being allowed on the
you
sofa.
You are the...
Our inaugural
Yes.
Oscars review.
Nice. You ready to papa?
The Popcorn Pundits.
Oscar podcast special.
Too long. Episode 20. Actually 20.
Actually 20. Thank you very much.
Does one
Adios,
of you
amigos.
is nearest? Do you want to press stop?
Love you, bye.
I feel like, Peter, your
Ciao.
orange socks is your new podcast look.